What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, and we are back. It's an invisible wall. Now, at this point, if you had been doing the quest to get the third ending, the one where you have to draw out your true strength 5 times, you proceed through here, and this is where you would complete it. You may remember we killed that one NPC that I wasn't sure about earlier that dropped Chameleon. I figured out why the dialogue was different. It's because if you were completing the quest, they show up right here, and they end up dropping Chameleon anyway. But regardless, we're going to head this way, pick up the brass armor. Full, right, bronze? Was it bronze? Brass? Bronze or brass? Brass. Okay, I wrote and over here is where you'll find Henri. Now, Henri's not here right now. I believe the trigger is having killed, what's his name, Aldrich first. But if you're completing the quest, Yuria will tell you that your bride is waiting in the Dark Moon Tomb, or Groom. Come down here, interact, and 3 more Dark Sigils. Here we're also going to grab this chest. It gives us the Reversal Ring. It changes male and female traits. Now, we were discussing this on stream. Some people believe it has to do with the way you walk. Males can perform female. I didn't notice it personally, but it's worth pointing out. Anyway, you can also come down here a little bit later, even though we're not completing the quest, and when Henri does show up, you're able to get Henri's straight sword, which is interesting because it scales off of luck. So if you're doing a luck type build, definitely something worthwhile to pick up. Right, we're gonna hit the lever, rotate the mechanism. God, I love that I'm at 69.6 with my shield on. Head on up here and rotate it again. So make sure to light that bonfire. Now we're not done just yet. Over here, you may notice another area. You're probably wondering, well, how do I get over there? Well, that's what we're going to do now. So definitely make sure you get the Norlando bonfire first. Run back down to the bottom. This is the Run of Faith. It's actually a completely invisible bridge here. So here we join the Dark Moon Covenant.
Stranger, I am Yorshka, captain of the Dark Moon Knight. What? Thou thinkst too very. Thou'st journeyed to become the night. Thou'rt now the.
And now we have the Blade of the Dark Moon Covenant. So at this point, actually let me rest. I'm going to have full Estus for this. We're going to do a little platforming. There we go. There we go. And the Painted Guardians curves. And if we go a little bit lower, the Painted Guardian set. From here, just continue to drop on down. this is the tower back in Irithyll that we pointed out quite a bit ago. So we're here real fast before we go back and actually continue on with Norlondo. One thing I'm going to do real fast, which someone pointed out earlier, apparently there was an enemy that I literally ran right past and missed, and we're going to go take them out because we'll get us a bone Estus shard. Undead bone shard. God, I cannot talk worth a shit today. Gotta get all those bone shards. Alright, so we took the Abyss Watcher's bonfire just because it'll be really close to grab this item that we had looked over before. We never actually took this path when we ran through the catacombs, but it is a shortcut path. Just lets you get back down if you died. Sorry, Skelly. Thanks for the fire arrows. You. And now we have ourselves an undead bone shard. So we're going to spend that shard, spend all the souls we have, work our way through a Norlondo, and take out the boss. Now, Norlondo is quite short in comparison to how it was back in Dark Souls 1, so don't get too hyped up. There's still, you know, a lot of the familiar bullshit from Dark Souls 1 in terms of the knights, but the little area we went past in the last episode with the archers, that's the extent of archery BS you're going to have to deal with. So one thing I want to actually, real quick here, right, I never picked up the flame, huh. Well, that explains why I do not have it equipped, but either way, I would need to get my attunement up a little bit to have that on. And that's not really a concern right now, there's other things that are more important.
Welcome, speak. Very well. Then take.
In particular, we want to get our, we want to get our endurance up to 40 first. With the patch having worked, we can start raising our vigor up again. I mean, there was no reason you couldn't before, but personally, I'm going to focus on getting my endurance up to 40 first, and then after my endurance is at 40, at that point, I will concern myself with getting my vigor up more. Just because, with as heavy as the Thugs is, I want to make sure that I have plenty of stamina to swing this and still roll. Whereas our vigor is high enough that while in an ember state we can survive plenty against just about anything we'll encounter. So right now at least the endurance is a higher priority. And even though we don't have the attunement to put on Karthus Flame Mark, we can of course use resins, so that will work out just fine. Alright. So now at Norlondo, we gotta fight our way past 2 silvers. Silver Knights. We're gonna get this one to come all the way down. Nice jump. Of course, with Thugs, we can basically just beat this guy into oblivion without worrying about much. I like how he's the one backing up. And we are going to circle around this way first for a red-eyed silver. Closer. As you can see, the red-eye ones obviously hit much harder than the regulars. Grab our Soul of a Crestfallen Knight. And then we're going to run this way, and there will be another large soul we can grab. Right over there. Alright. Now there's nothing down there, sadly, so don't bother. Just for those curious, though, you can see him hiding over there. First time. But we're going to go up here, get another coal from our good old blacksmith buddy from DS1. Head on up. Now this area can get a little bit tricky. One thing that can help here is putting on your crest shield, the one that has the, the dragon crest shield, the one with the fire resist. We're going to be running up against some of those fire clerics from earlier, the ones that we passed on the way kind of up to this area, all those guys that were shooting fireballs. Just going to run straight for them and take them out. A little bit of rolling to dodge the fire. The thing that's annoying is they stagger in their fireballs, so instead of being able to dodge just, one good dodge, you're going to have to try and stagger your rolls. We got our Proof of Concord kept. Now, from here, we have a couple more of these guys we're going to want to take out. On top of that, let me put on... Do I not have any? I don't think I have any fire bombs. It's disappointing. We're going to run into some of those blob guys from earlier, the ones that are quite vulnerable to fire bombs, so it won't hurt to grab some from earlier. You can see them right here, little blobbies. But first we're going to take out the last of the fire clerics. Now these blobs are obviously quite annoying. You don't have to kill them, but since they'll all gather up, it won't hurt to. We want to run up here, grab ourselves the moon arrows, moonlight arrows. Okay, and then we're going to run over here and we're going to open up the big door. It's actually doing a bit more than I expected it to. Please back away, spider dog. The scarier thing about this guy isn't the damage he does, it's more the potential of getting cursed by him. Hit and I would be cursed, so we're going to be playing this extra cautious. There we go. And Aldrich's Ruby. And now we are ready for a boss. So from this point, touch sign requesting cooperation. Honoring of a store's call for cooperation. I have not seen this before. Interesting. New discoveries. So I guess this is a change to Henri's quest. Let's see what Henri wants help with.
Ah, I thought it might be.
She also wants help with So there's a couple things that Aldrich does. As you can see, he will vanish under into a thing of dark. Create a dark portal. He has a ton of these orbs that he'll throw up in the air. This is the Dark Moon arrow volley, as we call it. Just a bunch of arrows that'll chase you around. He kind of derped out there. God, Fug's is just destroying him. This is kind of absurd. Alright, now that we've damaged him down by half, he's going to start doing fire. There's the scythe. The real fight is usually a lot harder than this. I think this is just because we're helping Henri. Here's the volley. Okay, so now you can actually kind of see this. Happens if I die here.
I owe this to you. Thank you, truly. Horace, we've done it. We really have.
See, I find that weird, just because I've reached this on 2 separate characters, and I've never seen that summon sign before to come in and help her. So maybe it involves having to kill Horace first, but not be doing the path where she's part of the quest. Yeah, now it's just a regular glow. That's quite interesting. Anyway, at this point, we are going to run back and actually rest, get all of our Estus back, and then we'll take on the boss. So, to go through the abilities of Aldrich, you got to see him very briefly there, but there's a couple things. He has a like hyper-powered soul spear he can do that can pierce through objects and hit. It's large, it's purple, you'll see it coming if it comes. Aside from that, he obviously does a ton of homing. As you saw, he kept dropping out all of those. They're kind of like soul masses. They're little purple soul masses, but they chase you all over, so be careful with dodging those. He has the Dark Arrow Volley, which you got to see. Typically, it's going to be chasing us, so there it was going all over Henri, so it didn't really matter. And the last thing, he has the Fire Trails, which he gets around 50%. And while the attacks of Aldrich are kind of slow, they are quite potent. One-shot potent, in fact. So he's going to start with the rain. Now we're just going to have to dodge this. The fight isn't starting off great for us. Alright. Every time he does the slam down, he'll disappear. So the best way I found to do this fight is to really get in, get 1 or 2 hits, and then just get out. It's very much a hit-and-run type fight. Especially because sticking around to hit him when he disappears like that, you don't want to, sit there and take that damage. When he comes back out, he should start trailing fire around. There it is. There's the little orbs. We're gonna wait, try and get in. Oh, and the scythe connected. You can see just how much damage he is capable of there. The attacks are rather slow, but they can hurt quite a bit if they connect, so just be very cautious about that. We're going to wait for him to start trailing. Nope. He, she, or... See, what's weird is because he's a God Eater, they have on, he has the mask of Gwendolyn on. So we're not sure if that's something with the absorption of Gwendolyn. There's the giant blast that he'll do. As I mentioned, that can pierce through objects, so do be cautious of that. try and get a hit if we don't get destroyed by him first. There we go. Fox cleans it on up. And with that, Aldrich is down. Like how we ended up killing him twice in this video. So from the bonfire, fast. Can I make it? Yes, I can. Go on up. Sadly, the best chest that you may have known from Dark Souls 1. But the Sun Princess ring is here, which gradually restores HP. Pick that up. And from that, we are done. So, moving on from here, the next area, of course, is the Irithyll Dungeons. Quite a tricky area because of the jailer enemies that we're going to encounter there. But before that, of course, make sure you head on back, use those souls, get some levels. And with that in mind, we will catch you